Hey guys, this is God of Goyle, your local DeKalb vascular agronomist. Today in my talk to experts, I have with me Dr. Mike Stanyard, who's regional field crop specialist with Cornell Cooperative Extension. He and we share love for entomology or the bugs. So that's why I have here talking to me about bugs that are going to be important for you guys to consider, to be thinking about in next few weeks. He has tremendous experience in walking fields, working with crops in New York State, and helping farmers making decisions on their farm. Like I said, we'll be talking about bugs. So when I asked you, Mike, the other day that what bugs people should be thinking about, you said these are the ones that are coming from south. So talk to my farmers about the ones that are coming from south. What can they do? Which ones are important? So tell us all about it.
Great, Gareb. I know, it's still a little chilly out there. We don't want to think about bugs being out there. Our crops aren't in the ground yet, but it's time to start thinking about these. Some of these could be coming up here right now, this weekend, and we don't even know it. So the two that I want to just briefly discuss is the black cutworm and the common armyworm. Both that don't overwinter here. They're both taking a nap to the south. They're snowbirds, but they're coming up here soon. And the weather this year is the nicest I've seen in a long time. I hope it holds out. But this tells me with these cold fronts that keep coming up from the south, they're going to bring both of these critters with them. And it's something that we have to watch. I mean, the grass is starting to green up. Cover crops are starting to kind of wake up. Some of our winter annual weeds are waking up. There's lots of food out there and some very attractive places for these female moths to lay their eggs.
So Mike, now we know that these are the bugs that people need to be thinking about. What are the different conditions that favor these bugs? I mean, are there any fields that people should be prioritizing when they are scouting for these bugs?
Yeah, so some of the more favorable egg laying environments that we're looking at is some of these areas that were maybe no-till or reduced till, that had more weed pressure throughout the season near the end of the year. That could be attractive. A lot of these winter annuals that are now coming into flower. Cover crops, again, I'm all in favor of cover crops, but they do provide an area that's very favorable to these. So when these females, they fly in, they see these environments, they're going to lay their eggs. And, a lot of what we're dealing with is based on degree days. So we start calculating, we'll have some traps out, and we'll talk a little bit about that, where we detect these male moths coming in, and about 90 degree days is what it takes for that egg to hatch. Another 200 degree days for them to actually get to the size where they're going to start clipping plants, start cutting our corn plants. So it's something we have to watch. Degree days are very important because we want to be out there at the right time. As we get, these things are very small, they're tough to see, and unfortunately, many times we don't find them until we already have a lot of damage in the field.
So Mike, if the farmers have these bugs in their field or fields, can they do anything to avoid the damage in this year's crop? Are there any treatments available, or talk to us about what things they can be doing for next year?
Yeah, so with both these bugs, again, they don't overwinter here, so we never know when they're going to come up, where they're going to come up, and how many are coming up. That's the problem with this. It's very scary in some cases. In most cases, they are sporadic. They don't cover the whole state. But it's important, we look at these pheromone traps we have out, and all these growers should be able to contact their local corporate extension office, whatever state they're in, Penn State, Cornell, across the board. We'll keep track of all these across the state. I have 4 traps in my region, and they all go into to the state, and you can find those online. So that's the most important, is knowing what's in your area to be on the lookout for these, because there's really nothing we can do. Once they're here, it's more boots on the ground. I like to see people out there scouting, looking for these guys. In most cases, they're so small, we don't see them until damage occurs. We see these cut plants, and that's a problem. So once we see about 5%, or every 5 out of 100 for black cutworm that's down, really it's time to go back in there with an insecticide. So that is the best way, I think, to control black cutworm, is being boots on the ground, finding them and treating them as they occur. Common armor, a little different. They're up on the plant. They're not down in the soil, so you can see them a little easier. Usually about 10% of the crop, 10 out of 100 have it, then it's time to go out there and make some sort of insecticide application. So that's really all we can do right now, is current year status, and really cannot think about next year until next year comes.
Well, thank you, Mike. This was a lot of information on the bugs that people need to be thinking about in next few weeks. but I'm sure there's so much more information on so many more bugs that we have in corn and soybeans that you guys would like to learn about in next few weeks or months, right? So hopefully we can have Mike again on our channel. So really appreciate that. But please stay tuned to get more updates on him, and also if you don't mind sharing this link with others who might also benefit from this channel as well. So please do that. But thank you again, and this is Gaurav Goel, your local DeKalb Agro agronomist again. So if you have any questions, please call me or email me. Thank you.